dude, your content's incredible, man. It really is. Again, check it out in the links for sure. You're for people that don't know, you were in the sneakers ad. That's how you and I originally met in the Nike sneakers campaign. And then
but before that,
yeah, I know your sister.
Yeah.
MC'd your sister's wedding. I thought it was super dope. One thing that stuck out to me is, like, for me, look, I just call myself a high-level consumer. You know, my mom was a fashion designer, just to let you know back why I got into this. So for me, shoes was always, Andre Agassi was the main reason why I got into shoes.
Yeah.
I started playing tennis, and Andre Agassi was my hero.
Yeah.
He was like back in the day in tennis, he was like the rebel. You know what I mean? He really stood out with the bright colors, the long hair, the Air Techs. And the Air Tech was the first shoe that I got, right? And then just me wanting to, you know, just build from that is why I got into it, right? So when I noticed in the Secrets campaign is you wore shoes, I actually had to look the shoes up.
the ACWs?
Yeah, he wasn't wearing, like, I was rocking the top threes because I wanted to flex. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, everyone's wearing, like, Heat. You know what I mean? Or what's considered Heat to this day. Yeah. You're wearing Heat, but a shoe that I actually, I wasn't familiar with. The Nike, the Cold Wall Zoom?
Yeah, Cold Wall. The Zoom Vomero 5s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, talk to me about the decision on that shoe where you could have probably worn countless others, right? And just, you know, like your decision making when it comes to like fashion these days. Like what makes you want to mess with a certain brand?
Yeah. So that shoe specifically, when they called me, I damn near sold all my Nikes. So I was like, well, that wasn't my last one, but I had a bunch of Jordan 1s left. And I was like, well, I think everybody's probably going to either wear 1s, 4s, or like, I don't know, 7, right about that. 8s, or, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was like, man, like, I like that that Zoom Vomero is actually kind of an ugly shoe, if you ask me. But I liked it because it was kind of ugly. If you ever like something, you're like, this should kind of go, but it's ugly.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, for sure.
Like, it was that shoe in the beginning, and then I ended up buying into it. And then, you know, it's kind of like an artsy fartsy concept to it, where basically the back heel, you've seen that little tab on the back, right?
Yeah.
The tab is meant to age over time, and it's supposed to change color. And it's supposed to like represent something, and you know how sneaker people do, like they put these stories to them. So I thought it was pretty interesting, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty cool shoe, and then I ended up wearing it at the thing. So yeah, that's how I chose that. But what was the other question?
No, just streetwear brands or fashion brands. What are you into, and what makes you, like, when you want to mess with a brand, what are you looking for as far as like traits?
The narrative,
the story behind it.
Yeah. It can almost be a shitty product, but if the narrative is good, I'll buy it.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Well, a good example is, the whole Pyrex thing that went on. You know?
I do know Pyrex. I know Virgil Abloh. He owns part of, I'll just tell you real quick. He owns part of RSVP. RSVP is a store in Chicago. It's Damon, off Damon. It's hella expensive.
Right.
And, yeah, I got my thoughts on Pyrex, but go ahead.
Yeah. So Pyrex is not a great product. It's printed on Champion hoodies. Right. Champion, you get roasted for wearing Champion back in middle school.
Facts.
Right? You pull up a Champion, they'd be like, dog, what did your mom bought you this?
That's facts. I had Champion socks, bro.
You know, okay, so you had to hide them, though.
That's true.
See,
That's true.
You put the little Champion little embroidery, is like, it's game over, you know? But it's, I like the narrative of it. It was like, it was Virgil. It was, he took the concept of Pyrex. I mean, it is the root essence of streetwear. He screen printed the word Pyrex 23. Pyrex 23, the meaning behind it was that, you know, people cook crack in Pyrex pots, right? It was a drug background. It was a D-boy background, right? And he spun that, and he was like, well, why can't we put this on to hoodies, right? And then, you know, there's more to it, but that was one concept. I still like Pyrex. Would I pay $500 for a hoodie? No. Or would I pay a little under that? Yeah, maybe. a little bit.
No, I appreciate the context, man.
Yeah,
I know you're a big Babesta fan. Your channel's insane.
There was talking about story. One video I saw, you talked about. Damn, I forgot his name, but I think the kid, maybe he's from the UK. He's black. He's super young. I think he's
Nigel Sylvester. Sorry.
I don't know.
Oh no, he's not from the UK. Sorry.
But
I was like, well, he's from Europe.
Yeah, you're right.
I know he's from Europe. He had a UK accent, but he's like young. He's still going to college, and he was getting endorsements from what'd you call it? Damn, Sense.
Oh,
he was on Sense.
Eastwood Donzo.
Oh yeah, Eastwood Donzo.
Yeah.
See that now that name clicked because that's a good name.
See, that's
too.
also a good narrative.
Yeah, his story is pretty dope.
Yeah.
So like, I think that's pretty cool that, you know, you say narrative is the first thing. You
Yeah.
know, and then of course.
And if you look at his clothing, it's not revolutionary, but I like the narrative, so I'm gonna buy. Like, I mean, you know, that's like the biggest issue, right? People start. I'm sure you've had people that approach you or whatever, or even as friends of friends, you have people that make clothing brand names, and it'd be like Super Hype Club, and it'll be like a BOGO, right? And you're like, dog, what? Like, what is it? First of all, you copying, and then second, like, there's no story. You're just making this because you want to make money, right? Or the hustle concept. You ever seen those hustle brands?
Yes.
Hustle harder. Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it's like, okay, wait, so you want me to hustle, or you know that you understand that I hustle. You want to make a clothing brand that supports that I hustle, but yet I'm paying you to support your hustle. So what? So I'm buying into the wrong narrative, right? That's not a narrative, in fact.
Keezy, let me ask you this: do you think that's an age thing? Like, you know, because do you think
hustle
like,
hard?
well, no, just everything you're talking about. Like, you think like 16-year-old kids? No offense, please support. But do you think like the younger end really care about the context behind the meaning behind some of these brands, or it's just about buying the hype?
I think at first they don't, because at first I didn't.
Right.
I got into Echo because everyone at school was wearing Echo.
Sure.
Right. And then later on, you get into sneakers and Jordans. I didn't really know. I just knew that Jordans were dope. And I would see them online on Google Images. I'm like, I can't afford this shit, but it's so sick. Like, where do you get this? Right? And then getting older, then you do more homework on it, and then you get more, you know, whatever. But everybody starts out as like a, you know, as a newbie. You don't know. There's no, how can you know?
I appreciate
How
that.
can you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Talking about Evisu, man. I've heard of the brand. Even back in 2005, 2006, around that.
Yeah.
I never really messed with it. I don't know why, but I started doing some research after because your content, and talk to me about that. Like, why you gravitated so deeply.
In 2005, 2006, Evisus were treated as like the Ferrari of denim. Straight up. Like, if you had even if you just had the little logo, people know it's like, oh, those are the, you know what I mean? It's different now. It's not the same. You got Levi's on, I got Evisus. This from Japan, you can't get this, right? But I think that's what tied me into it. But then there's, another brand that has a crazy narrative to it. And then also, since living here in the U.S., not even just the Bay, you can't, from the 2000s up until maybe 2012-ish area, it was just hard to get. You couldn't get it. As someone that I really wanted to buy into it, even though it died, no one cared about it, no one bought it anymore. I'm like, man, I still want to buy this, but I can't buy it. Right? So through all those years, I still was trying my best to buy as much as I can through used on eBay and Grailed. And and then anytime I go to Asia, that's like the first place I go. I'm like, man, it's like reliving my childhood. I'm like, damn, this is all the shit I couldn't buy when I was younger, man. I'm going to get it now.
Very similar stories. Very similar stories. I mess with what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're kind of baggy though, right? They're not like skinny. They're not slim.
Yeah. Now they make damn near, there's over 15, 16 different cuts that they make. But previously though, they're super baggy.
Yeah.
Are they just pants, or they have like shirts?
Oh, they got everything. Yeah. Well, so originally, Evisu, the true Japanese Evisu, is a golf brand. The owner, Yamane, used to like to golf, and if you go to Japan, which you should, when you go to Japan, how about that? If you happen to visit, the actual store is like walking into a denim museum. It's like, also they have like golf club sticks in there and stuff, and it's all Evisu'd out. It's like all Evisu logos.
This is their brick and mortar.
That's
is
their
retail?
store in Japan, right? But if you go to their international stores, it's a completely different story. It's kind of more of a cookie cutter Evisu that you're getting. But yeah.
Hey, so talk to me as far as like when it comes to like the consumer experience in Japan. How does it differentiate from the United States? I've always heard that it's more of an experience.
Yeah, just everything Japan does. It's like, imagine like the Japanese are like the German of the Asians, right? When they make products. No, maybe not necessarily other cultural
like that,
things,
right?
but when you make products, like, you know, when you make something from like Italy or Germany, you know it's going to be like A1, right? Or maybe not in today's times, I don't know, but when you talk about Japan, damn near every product they make, it could be the smallest little thing and it'll be packaged, you know, you'd be like, you didn't even need to package it like this. Like, why is it like this? It's so good, you know, in that aspect. So yeah, that's why it's better, period. And culturally, they're very neat and orderly, right? I mean, you've been there, right? Even when you take the escalators, everybody knows to stand on one side. Like, if you do that in the US, What am I saying? Do that? Nobody does that in the U.S.
Nah.
It just doesn't happen.
Right.
Have you been to the Kith store?
Yeah.
They got one in New York. They got one in L.A.
Yeah.
I think they got one in Tokyo.
Yeah, I went to that one.
You did?
Yeah, the ice cream store. I didn't buy any ice cream, but yeah, it was cool.
Treats.
Yeah, the treats.
It's kind of a cool idea what Ronnie did.
Yeah, it is pretty tight.
So basically, Niall, Kith is a brand, right? It's a clothing brand.
Kith?
Kith, Kith.
Okay.
And the founder's name is Ronnie Feig, and I get what he's doing. It's a cool idea. He opened this Kith Treats bar. Basically, it's just serving ice cream. Okay. It's like desserts to elevate your shopping experience. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But this guy sells merch now. He's building. It's another revenue stream for him. He's a smart dude. But I like Ronnie because everything he posts. Like, he'll post stuff that he, like, his favorite movies, from The Bronx Tale to, like, Goodfellas. Mm. He posts things that it's like, man, this guy is me. Mm. If I was successful, I would be him. Wow. I'd want to be him. You know what I mean? Like, I think going back to the whole, like, you know, context and, like, emotionally connecting with something, I emotionally connect with that brand. And I like his experience, man. I mean, I know all the clothes aren't dope, but I like his clothes. I think it's good quality. I would love your thoughts on this. Good quality. I like the fact that most of it's clean.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll say about that. Thoughts?
It's
like I'll go on to say that I think it's really hard because I have a lot of friends that own like stores, like just retail outlets in Chicago.
Yeah.
And I see the grind. It's really hard for a brand. It's one thing because a lot of retail outlets have to carry other people's brands to stay afloat. But to have your own brand, standalone brand, I'm talking about Kith or whoever, you know what I mean? Babe, you know, for them to have a standalone brand and be successful and people with you just for that brand, very rare. True?
Yeah, very true.
Very hard.
Yeah. I mean, it's got its cult. Kith has its cult following. I've never bought anything Kith though. I don't
really?
know. No, I've never seen anything that I've liked.
I thought you'd be, because before we started the podcast, I thought you'd be a heavy consumer because you're like, you know, super clean, right?
Yeah.
Like super, it seems like pretty simplistic when it comes to things.
I don't know. Yeah, I just never, I've been to a lot of the stores and I've just never seen anything where I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy this right now. So, watch me say that, right? Next year, I'm buying a whole bunch of it. It's a living contradiction, you know?
But in your, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nah, I'm a sponge right now. Honestly.
No, it's cool, man. If just,
you know what? Actually, I do have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I think about the Bay Area, I think about when the Vans song came out.
Oh, the Pack.
Yo, the Pack was like my first. Yo, honestly, the Pack is a reason why I started
wearing
rap.
Vans. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Facts. I started. It was ninth grade, bro. I started writing like, because I've always written poetry. You know, growing up as a kid. Oh, but like, when it came to like rap, kind of like doing it like in a 4-bar, like with some beats.
Yeah.
You know, it was from the Pack. Like the way that I just remember right now. I remember I got LRG clothes. LRG was like my shit back then, bro.
That was big.
Dude, I know, bro. It was ninth grade. LRG was stupid.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I don't smoke weed, but like everyone who was doing it smoke weed. Like, why are you wearing LRG? You don't smoke weed. I'm like, I just love LRG, and I love the Pack, and I know that they were like repping that.
Yeah.
You know. So anyway, I just think of the Vans, and I just remember thinking back, like no one was wearing Vans until that song came out.
Nope.
And anyway, I just think about how crazy, how much hip hop like has contributed to these, you know,
the narrative.
These these designers, and you know, how much it lifted up. Now Vans are like $50 shoes and all this, and I think it's because still that song like popped it off.
Played a part, yeah.
It's crazy, man.
I mean, that's like a product of the environment, right? I mean, a lot of people from Cali wear Vans.
That's true.
No matter what race, right? If you're in New York and wore Vans back then, they'd be like, dog, what are you doing?
Air Force Ones and Tims all day. Yeah.
Uptowns and Tims, yeah, exactly.
Right.
But like, you know, in Cali, you got so many mixed. LA and the Bay, you have so many mixed, and maybe even Arizona at this point is so stretched out to the West Coast.
Arizona for sure.
Right. I mean, it's a very mixed ethnicity. So people kind of just, the dressing style is not specific to a race. You know. Right. So
speaking of the brand thing, what are you messing with right now? Like currently, like current brands. Is there anything that you're on right now that you think deserves some recognition? Amy, is it Amy ALD? Amy Leondori? You like them?
Like current brands?
Like, I mean, obviously Evisu back in 2005, 2006, like you were saying, Babe's been around forever.
Yeah.
So I was just curious.
Yeah. Do you guys remember Red Monkey?
Heard of him.
Yes.
Red Monkey jeans.
I don't know.
It was
why.
the same era as Evisu, and Red Monkey jeans was like, it was really baggy pants with like these really huge pockets, and they would always embroider something on them. It sometimes would be kind of a provocative thing, but but they're dope pants though. It was they're still very expensive too. They're like 400 something.
Wow.
Smackaroos,
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing for me is like the cost of some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like even if something's dope, I just have for me, I guess I have an issue paying for a lot of money for one article of clothing just because it's like at the end of the day it's a piece of clothing. That's how I've always been though. So I have like a limitation. So when I see HypeBeasts, you know, when I moved here, I was telling you off camera, like I've never seen so many HypeBeasts in my life. Like Niall, like you know the people that wear like the Bape, the Supreme all over their body.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's the SneakerCon starter pack.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I think so.
SneakerCon?
Yeah. You been to SneakerCon?
No, I haven't.
I have.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
though. Like in every year, almost every year it changes. Well, every 2 years it changes when you go to sneaker cons. But like 80% of the kids in there and the adults kind of wear something similar. Like 2017, it was like the Supreme Fanny, Supreme Bogo, and it'll be like Bape Shark shorts or something like that with like Jordan 1s.
He's got it, dude.
And a Supreme 5 panel. You know.
I mean, I don't want
It's changed. I don't know what it is now. I mean, COVID, right? But yeah.
Right. Any comments on that? Like just on HypeBeasts in general? Again, not knocking anyone. I'm just curious. Like,
I think it's just really interesting that the stuff that I got, you know, people that were in the 2000s that got involved with like Nike Talk and bought into Dunks and Babesas back then, before HypeBeast was like a thing. HypeBeast was a derogatory form or a word. Now it's, you can call someone a hypebeast and be like, yeah, I am a hypebeast.
Yeah, it's getting them shine, really.
Right.
Yeah,
you're right. I remember
hypebeast
being I remember that wasn't too long ago. That was like 2012. It was considered like, damn, hypebeast.
Yeah.
Something like that. Now it's like,
no one gives a shit anymore.
Right.
Yeah. People own up to it, in fact. Which is, you know, it is what it is.
Right, right. I mean,
but all those brands that I grew up on back then that I got made fun of for wearing, because it wasn't streetwear was not on this platform. Now people, every celebrity wears streetwear. What celebrity doesn't wear streetwear now?
He's right about that.
It was looked down upon in the 2000s. Celebrities wore suits back then,
right?
Or some. I don't know what the fuck they wore.
Right.
What did they wear?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
The analogy would be like kind of like skating. I remember back in the day, skating, we were looked upon as like
ostracized.
Absolutely
idiots.
And now
dumbasses.
Now y'all popping.
Yeah, it's commercial.
Mainstream, bro.
After the X Games. And then I don't even know if the X Games still around, but and then Lil Wayne started skateboarding.
Yeah.
Right. And you got
Bieber,
all this,
Justin Bieber.
It's on every damn commercial.
Right.
You know. Anyways, yeah. It's like, it's on this different, you know.
Yeah.
Thing.
I mean, just think about historically with hip hop.
Exactly.
I mean, when hip hop popped off.
Yeah.
You know, people were talking crap about it. People, you know.
Now you got Billie Eilish.
Now you got everybody, right? You know what I'm saying?
What?
Billie Eilish taking the swag of hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, and then. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a mess. It's a mess that can't be solved.
It's a mess.
And at that point, it's so evolved that you can't. What are you gonna do? You just either participate or you be an elitist.
Right.
Oh, we shouldn't be promoting this.
Yeah.
Like, oh, shut your ass up.